Hello, Mrs. Brown. Your parcel doesn't fit through the letterbox. Please reschedule delivery by clicking here.
Highway toll. Your €6.60 balance remains unpaid. Please settle the matter before May 20th here.
Who hasn't received this sort of text message or email recently? Well-crafted schemes designed to scam us.
He had loads of information. Some of my bank account numbers, my address, some of my credit card numbers.
These increasingly sophisticated scams often have a common source: personal data leaks. Recent victims include France's Postal Service and Employment Agency. A data breach happens once an hour.
The first consequence is phishing, which then leads to other scams such as fake bank transfers or fraud carried out by fake bank advisors.
9 out of 10 French people have reportedly been targeted by scam attempts.
The question is no longer whether it will happen to you if you're at risk. It's more a case of when.
Data has become a goldmine for cybercriminals and a nightmare for victims. It's becoming impossible to tell fact from fiction.
It's so well done. They just need to find a weak spot, and they dive in very quickly.
It all started with a simple text message, received on the day Amaya was expecting a parcel.
Customs duties apply to your parcel. Please settle the payment here to continue with the delivery.
But it was a scam.
2 or 3 hours later at lunchtime, I received a call from an unknown number, supposedly it was my bank advisor, who told me that I'd had a fraudulent transaction that very morning. So I made the connection with what I'd clicked on, and I thought to myself, gosh, that wasn't for my parcel at all. It was a scam.
What Amaya didn't realize is that the person on the other end of the line wasn't her bank manager, but the very same scammer.
He reassured me by saying, don't worry, we'll sort this out. There won't be any problems. And after that, they made me go through a whole series of steps. I thought I was refusing all the transactions, but they were actually getting me to validate transfers.
Amaya lost a total of €8,000. The cybercriminal in question was very well informed and managed to gain her trust. He even persuaded her to reveal her credit card details.
He had loads of my information, including some of my bank account numbers, my address, and some of my credit card numbers. So I felt safe. I thought, he's going to help me, but in the end, he was just stealing my money.
How did these scammers manage to access all of this information when it's supposed to be confidential? Through data leaks. The French Postal Service, Employment Agency, and even the portal that issues passports and ID cards were all recent victims. When we buy things on websites or when we log into online accounts, our personal information's kept in data storage spaces. For cybercriminals, it's child's play. They hack this data and then resell it online.
Today you can find this data on what's commonly known as the Amazon of cybercrime. It's like using your favorite platform to shop for something. Once you're there, you can have a bit of a browse.
Clément Domingo is an ethical hacker. He raises awareness about the risk of cybercrime and helps businesses protect themselves.
Here we have a data leak at a big chain that sells eyeglasses in France. The equivalent of 200,000 people have been affected, and this breach contains not only personal contact details, but also a whole host of other information that will be used for further scams.
According to this expert, 9 out of 10 French people are concerned by data leaks. We decided to put it to the test.
Without knowing you, this is the first time we've met. Just by typing in your first and last name, we can already find your email address and your date of birth. Can you confirm that you were born in 1992? We've also got your hometown. But what's most interesting is that we found details of some of your close family members, I imagine. Some of them are minors.
That's incredible.
I think hearing about it and seeing it are completely different things. And so today, this applies to everyone living in France. That's why it's such a disaster. That's what's frightening.
Today, more and more sensitive information is being stolen. At the end of last year, a healthcare software system was hacked. Some 15 million patients had their data exposed.
This medical data did actually include details of certain patients. Some were HIV positive, transgender, some were suffering from depression. That changes everything. Imagine you want to take out a loan, and the broker or the bank, which may not have had access to this medical data before, now it's available for sale, and the bank could refuse to grant you that loan.
The danger is clear. It's not just the digital sphere. These leaks have had physical consequences.
In 2025 and early 2026, there were two major incidents. The first was the data breach at the French Shooting Federation, where burglaries took place. Fake police officers and gendarmes turned up at people's homes and stole weapons. The second case involved data leaks linked to websites managing crypto assets. This led to kidnappings, hostage-taking, violent acts, and torture of the victims or their families.
Things didn't escalate to that point in Amaya's case, but cybercriminals did visit her home.
The advisor I spoke to on the phone offered me a bank service that would allow me to have my bank cards replaced immediately. So there was a courier waiting for me here, so I handed over my cards. That's why I say I also felt that my privacy was violated, because he actually came into my home.
Amaya filed a complaint, to no avail. Platforms encouraging victims to come forward do exist, but their main purpose is to raise awareness and flag up scams. In most cases, the cybercriminals are not found and the victims are not compensated.
Cybercrime, by its very nature, takes place online and is very widespread. That's why it's so important to be careful about how you use the internet. Don't trust just anyone, don't click on links, and don't answer the phone, because if, unfortunately, you do become a victim, it's actually much more complex than experiencing a physical theft.
In recent years, the majority of those perpetrating these attacks are young cybercriminals, and they're mostly French. Some are still teenagers, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, because they've realized that they can make money quickly and easily. For some of them, anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 euros per week. I've been in contact with a few of them for a while now, and they can make up to 120,000 euros after a few weeks or months.
Identifying these cybercriminals is Marwan's daily challenge. A former scammer himself, he set up his own private investigation firm and now helps victims track down the culprits.
Hi, Nadia. I'm calling with some very good news. We've uncovered your scammer's full identity and address. And that's good, because since he's in France, he can be arrested by the police.
I'm so happy right now, I could cry.
Once we've carried out the investigation, we help them submit the investigation report to the police as supporting evidence for their complaint. That's if the police are willing to cooperate. If they aren't, we go straight to the public prosecutor. To be honest, the police are overwhelmed by these sorts of cases. They don't have the staff for it, although they are developing cyber units. So victims of fraud are often left in the lurch.
Marwan tracks down the clues these cybercriminals leave. Here, he shows us a scam run by fake brokers from Nigeria.
We managed to infiltrate these scammers' websites and were able to extract a list of all the victims affected by this particular scam. To date, 399 have already been taken in.
But despite this sort of hard evidence, victims don't always get compensation.
When scammers are based abroad, such as in Nigeria, there's no extradition agreement between France and Nigeria, so it becomes a political issue. And that's when victims have to dip into their own funds to hire a Franco-Nigerian lawyer, for example, who'll represent them in Nigeria and file a complaint on their behalf to ensure the scammers can be arrested in their home country.
Complex procedures and costs shouldered by the victims who are also dealing with increasingly sophisticated scamming techniques.
We're currently experiencing a digital revolution with AI, which also consumes a lot of our data. That means there's a risk these scams and their effects could be facilitated and sped up. Until sufficient funding is allocated to the issue, it will be difficult to raise the level of data protection. The most important thing is educating people and raising awareness.
Raising employees' awareness of cyber risks, Delphine Chevalier is an expert in crisis management. She organizes training exercises like this.
You're dealing with a serious cybersecurity incident, so you're setting up the crisis response team.
They've sent me a sample of our customer database. Can someone check that it's really ours?
We're going to notify the police and, in the meantime, identify which data might be affected.
The participants have just been told about a data breach. Their task is to decide what to do, and time is of the essence.
We have 72 hours, so we have until tomorrow.
Overall, across organizations, I'd say we have the most work to do in the smaller structures, micro-businesses, and small to medium-sized companies. They're sometimes not fully aware of the risks, often due to a lack of time or resources. This is paradoxical because they're the ones most affected. This is something that needs to become standardized practice. Not only do we need to be very vigilant and secure our systems, but when something does happen, we need to be ready to respond.
Some cybersecurity experts recommend changing your digital identity, that is, using an alias as a means of protection, using a password manager, and having parcels delivered to a collection point. But most importantly, never click on links received via text message or email, and never give out sensitive information over the phone.